Welcome to Expert Viewpoints, Usage of Techniques for Business Analysis. In this video, experts will explore their approach to requirements gathering in recent projects, discussing how they ensured all stakeholders' needs were captured accurately. They will also share insights into how they prioritize gathered requirements, outlining the criteria used to determine their importance and how this process contributes to project success.
As a rule, I generally follow a step-by-step approach to requirements gathering. Step number 1, always work closely with stakeholders to identify the problem or opportunity. Step number 2, assess the current and future states. Scenario analysis is a tool used to accomplish this goal on often occasions. Step number 3, work with the business and technical stakeholders to develop viable solutions. Ensure the recommended solutions can be supported. Step number 4, facilitate product roadmap development. Solidify scope and scheduling agreements. In step number 5, you're now ready to assemble the business case. Work closely with all key stakeholders to attain approval. In step number 6, enlist the support of a project manager to develop a project charter and then hand off the requirement to the project management team. You will still be involved.
To ensure that all of the stakeholders' requirements are captured, I had to use a lot of critical thinking skills to ensure that I was looking each requirement from the different perspectives.
I'm fortunate that my customers, the internal report users of Hydro, often have a clear understanding of their requirements, so the requirement gathering usually focuses on the feasibility of these requests. I perform a feasibility study for these requests to prevent wasting resources on projects that are conceptually flawed or technically unfeasible. The business analyst needs to use his extensive business acumen and process knowledge to stop these requests at an early stage. To check technical feasibility, a business analyst often lacks the necessary hard skills, and so a technical architect must be involved. If the project is feasible from both perspectives, the requirements are documented in a detailed design document, which includes a functional specification and a technical specification. Each business area has its own standard questions. For BI, these are: what is the data source for the report? What measures, dimensions needs to be in the report? What is the data granularity? What are the security settings of the report? For time series data, what's the report retrospectivity and the report refresh frequency?
In a recent project, I ensured clear communication with stakeholders by conducting interviews, workshops, and surveys to capture their needs accurately. I used requirement traceability matrices to link requirements from gathering through implementation and testing, ensuring no details were missed. We manage changes through a formal change management process, documenting updates and communicating them to all stakeholders. One challenge was conflicting requirements, which we overcame through collaboration and continuous feedback to align everyone on the final requirements.
In a recent project focused on rolling out new software, I took a structured approach to requirements gathering that combined various techniques for comprehensive coverage. I kicked things off by interviewing key stakeholders across different departments to understand their specific needs and pain points regarding existing systems. Then I used surveys to collect broader feedback from end users who would be using the solution daily. This helped me capture diverse perspectives. I also held focus groups where stakeholders could brainstorm desired features together. By mixing these methods, I made sure we gathered well-rounded insights that led to robust requirements closely aligned with our business objectives.
How do you prioritize requirements once they have been gathered? And what criteria do you use to determine their importance?
A common method used by many BAs that I also use is called Moscow prioritization. Each requirement is prioritized in 4 ways. M stands for must have or do. S stands for should have or do. C, could have or do. And the W is won't have or do. Moscow prioritization accommodates the reality that all requirements are not equal. In addition, this prioritization method allows the BA to realistically plan out requirements and execution in a manner that addresses the reality that every project cannot accomplish everything. You may have a requirement that was a must have, should have, could have that you require based on changes. Unfortunately, you won't have.
To prioritize the deliverables, I usually hold meetings with the client to understand which of the deliverables could give the company a quick and important return. The most important thing is always to keep the documentation of the project alive. Always checking again to clarify any definitions or to review the priorities already established. These are some of the main points that a business analyst should be aware of.
To prioritize requirements, I use criteria such as business value, urgency, and feasibility. I often apply the Moscow method, as you know, that is must have, should have, could have, won't have, to rank each requirement. Business critical needs are prioritized first, while less urgent features are scheduled for obviously later purposes. This ensures that key business objectives are met on time while keeping the project scope under control.
Once we have gathered all the requirements, prioritizing them effectively is crucial for focusing our efforts where they will make the most impact. I typically look at criteria like business value, what will deliver the biggest bang for our buck, and urgency. Collaborating closely with stakeholders during this phase is essential. We want everyone on the same page about priorities so that resources are allocated effectively without causing delays or scope creep later on down the line.